All right, my collecting brothers and sisters, welcome to the Vintage Sanctuary. I will probably call this something like sharpening my collecting focus, collecting the stars of the golden era of baseball. So this is going to be my attempt to sort of talk about kind of where my collection has been in terms of where my focus has been, where it's going as best as I understand it. Now this will give you sort of a sense of what's coming in the future on my channel, but at the same time, I'm doing this for myself as well as I try to kind of sort out what my plans are and what my focus will be. So I can be kind of long-winded. Now, my last video was long, but I think it was worthwhile because it was a lengthy story, and I think, I got right into it. And so feel free to check that out if you wish, my epic national pickups. This video might get a little lengthy too, but if it does, I'm hoping it gets lengthy because it's jam-packed full of thoughts about where I've been, where I'm going, how I see it, and not just wasted time. So without further ado, let me turn this camera around and let's get rolling. All right, so what has not stopped me, but let's say slowed me down from collecting as many cards of the stars of the golden era of baseball? Well, part of it has been an Aaron Judge focus. Many of you know I wanted to get at least 62 versions of this card, and I'm well over 62 now. And look at this gorgeous purple pleaser, the Sapphire Edition purple out of 10. I'm just going to show you typically 3 cards from different collecting focuses that I've had. This, of course, is not from 2022, but I also branched out to his Independence Day cards, and this is an Independence Day league leader from 2018 out of 76. And then this is the same black home runs league leader, and this one, of course, being a black in 2018 is out of 67, when Aaron Judge was the home run leader as a rookie of the American League. So these two, of course, make a wonderful pair. So there's just 3 Aaron Judges out of many to show that one of the things that slowed me down from collecting these stars of the golden era of baseball was an Aaron Judge focus on parallels of his 2022 Topps as well as Independence Day and Topps Black. And what do I think about that? I'm happy I did it. Do I see myself adding more cards? Yes, but slowly but surely. It's not going to be, it's going to be a card here, a card there. Generally, I'm happy with what I have. I've also added a few Ohtani cards, but I really don't want to pay the Ohtani tax, and it's not a main focus of my collection, so I don't see myself adding more Ohtani cards, but I'll probably hang on to the ones that I have. So there you have it, Aaron Judge, which of course slowed me down from collecting stars of the golden era, at least at the same rate. What else slowed me down? I thought you'd never ask. A focus on Barry Bonds. And again, many of you know, if you've been watching my channel, I went ballistic on Bonds and tried to get at least 1 refractor from each of his playing years, and did that and then quite a bit more. I also got all of the Tiffany base cards that he has, and this is, his key rookie here, the Topps Traded Tiffany from 1986. So just a few cards to represent Bonds. This bad boy has been going ballistic recently, the 93 Finest refractor. So stoked to have this card. Picked it up at the 2023 National. And this card has been going ballistic as well. I think I probably overpaid when I bought it. It was like $500, but that's probably a steal now. This, to me, this is just such a fantastic refractor on both sides. Look at that. It says rare refractor. There we go. Yeah, I've got all 3 from this year, but this was the toughest refractor from Topps Finest of that year. Okay, so there we see 3 Barry Bonds cards. Certainly putting bucks into Barry Bonds slowed me down from emphasizing the stars of the golden era of baseball. What do I think about that? I'm happy I did it. I plan to hang on to this Barry Bonds collection that I have. Again, just a few representatives. Will I be adding to it? Probably not much. Maybe just a card here or a card there. But, I just plan to hold with what I have. And, of course, at some point I'll show like all of my Barry Bonds, and at some point I'll probably show all of my 2022 tops again of Aaron Judge and so forth. But for now, holding on that, here's something else that slowed me down. Going after big cards, whether they were vintage baseball or whether they were basketball. Here's an example. This is a card I did a trade for, 61 Fleer Wilt Chamberlain in an exceptional vintage greatness 4. Just so stoked about this card. I would like to get more Chamberlain cards as well. So, you know, hey, I'm happy. Happy I got this. I absolutely love this card. I think it's such an epic card. And so that's an example of, you know, another card that slowed me down because I was looking to save, sell, trade to get, you know, some big cards like that. And then Rickey Henderson. So I have a few Rickey Hendersons. This is the most notable one right here, his 93 Finest Refractor. I was so stoked to add a second 93 Finest Refractor to my collection to go with the Barry Bonds. Absolutely love this card. So do I see myself adding more Henderson cards? You know, the thing is, I really want to do a focus on the stars of the golden age of baseball. So probably not. Probably not. Now, I do have a complete Tiffany run, Topps Tiffany base run of Rickey Henderson. That is most of the rest of my Rickey Henderson cards. So I'll probably just you know, stick with that for now. So I don't really see myself, you know, adding more Rickey Henderson at this time. Is it possible I could pick up his rookie? I don't have his rookie card. Some people say that's the last, you know, true rookie card or whatever, or the last, you know, like where a player just had one clear rookie card and there weren't several rookie cards. Okay, so those slowed me down as well. And then what else slowed me down? Well, now we're going to move on to Hank Aaron. So cards like this, again, still talking about big cards, this slowed me down because some time ago when I purchased this card, it kept me from, you know, for the price of this card, I could have bought several vintage cards that would contribute to a Hank Aaron playing days run. But I did not. Instead, I got this one card. So in many cases, I sacrificed, so to speak, saving, selling, trading, in order to get the big cards, thinking that someday if I wanted to complete a run, you know, I would have the big one, the most expensive one, out of the way. And then it would also give me, you know, some safety in terms of being able to do the run, because this card would not have gotten out of reach by just, you know, becoming more and more expensive. Well, it seems like all of Hank Aaron's playing days cards, at least most of them, are more expensive now, but I've got this big one. So that kind of slowed me down. I'll show a couple more Hanks, not all of the Hanks, but here's another one, 58 Topps. This is the tougher yellow name. Absolutely love this card. And I really, really love this card. I don't know, there's just something about it that is just, you know, I just think it's just absolutely fantastic. So super stoked to have this. Notice what a really nice 4. I tell you what, sometimes 4, when you can get a really nice 4 like this, sometimes it's the best bang for your buck. So those are just 3 representatives. I would like to get his complete Bowman run, which of course is simply his 55 Bowman. And what about getting his complete Topps run? The verdict is still out on that for all of these players that I'm going to show you. I just don't know. I think I will get his run of 1950s top base cards for sure. And then after that, I may just pick and choose the ones I really like, such as these that I have. Or I may go after a complete Topps run, all of his base cards. So that still remains to be determined. But, you know, I have not made much progress. So I'm looking forward to making progress. And every time I add a Hank Aaron card, I will probably show you all the Hank Aaron cards I have up to that point, trying to keep it brief, of course. So yeah, definitely. I mean, of course, this dude is definitely one of the stars of the golden age of baseball. And I definitely want to slowly but surely add more Hank Aaron cards. I want to start making some progress. I've made very little progress on my Hank Aaron collection, but certainly this is the key in terms of value anyway. I'm just talking about the Topps and the Bowman's cards. I mean, if I get some others that are not Topps or Bowman's, I'm open to that as well. But, you know, some people say, hey, all of his Topps cards, whether they're expensive or not, they're common. They're, you know, you just have to have the bucks, right? They're everywhere. But I would say, I don't care how common they are. I still want them. I still love them. I think they're just wonderfully nostalgic. And yeah, I'm just excited about getting them, and I feel like I've delayed for too long, even though I've explained some of the reasons for the delay. And a card like this, I mean, this may be a pretty common card, but how often do you find a 4 that looks this nice? So I think, again, being selective and finding just the right card that has great eye appeal for the grade, you know, those are drying up, will dry up. All right, so there's Hank Aaron. Now, where do we go from here? Well, let's move on to Yogi Berra. So for Yogi Berra, I'll just give a few representatives. This is his 50 Bowman in a Vintage Greatness 3. What a sweet card. And here's the back of it. Again, I've got more Berras, but, you know, this video will become unbearable if I make it a 2-hour video. Here's his 51 Bowman. I only paid about $100 for this some years, maybe it was a half dozen years ago or 5 years ago. I guess I've been collecting vintage baseball about 5 years, but yeah, what a sweet card. So another representative of Yogi Berra. And look at that, the color of the ink, so vibrant. This really has the ink saturation in this Too Good to Be 2 here. Ooh, yeah. Little mottled paper loss on the back. So there's 3 examples. I definitely, absolutely want to get all of the Bowman Yogi Berra, all of the Topps Yogi Berra. I still need his 48 Bowman rookie card. That's a big one. Oh, by the way, back to Hank. I don't have his 1955 or his 1956, his second and third year. So those would be high on my list, as well as his 55 Bowman. Of course, there's other cards I want of Hank as well, like his 1965 Topps. I mean, there's several. I've got a ways to go, but I'm excited about making some progress. So here's 3 examples of Berra. And again, I've got more, but I'm just showing you a few to keep this from getting crazy long. So yeah, want to keep working on Berra. And now let's see, let's go Doby next, shall we? 52 Bowman. This is an opportunity for me to say I'm also working on all of the Hall of Famers of 52 Bowman. So, you know, I may pick up some of those as well, even if they're not the big stars. But if they're Hall of Famers, they're all stars of the era, of course. Wow, what a sweet card. Why am I working on a Hall of Fame run of 52 Bowman? Because to me, this is just the epitome of vintage art. I actually like the images a little bit better overall than the 51 Bowman, although I'd love to have a 51 Bowman Hall of Fame run as well. But, you know, the Mantle kind of makes that crazy, you know, kind of makes that pretty darn tough. So I'm going to go for 52 Bowman Hall of Famers as well. I may pick some of those up along the way. And then, this is one of my favorite cards. Dandy Potato Chips Larry Doby. Oh, and a gem mint 4. Tell me that's not a gem mint 4 for a card that was in the potato chips. Look at that beauty. Absolutely love it. And, here's another thing too. 52 Topps. So I absolutely love adding 52 Topps Hall of Famers or some Yankee contributors. I sold my early win because it was a higher grade. And I sold it at the National, I think it was last year, and, you know, made a nice profit, probably doubled my money. But guess what? I'm a loser, not a winner, because I don't have that win anymore. And I wish I had it. I discovered that with 52 Topps, I may not get all the Hall of Famers, because obviously there's, you know, people like Mickey Mantle that are stoppers in this set. But I don't like going backwards, not on 52 Topps. I love 52 Topps. So I want to get that early win back at some point. A lower grade's fine. But yeah, whenever I can add a 52 Topps, there's just something about it. You know, it is the beginning of flagship. I know there's a 51 set, but to me, really 52 is where, I mean, 51 is where it technically begins, but 52 is where I get really excited. So yeah, I would love to add some more 52 Topps, even though I don't expect to complete all the Hall of Famers. I do expect to complete all the Hall of Famers of 52 Bowman, however, and I will slowly work on that. These things will take time. I want to get, more Topps Bowman and maybe even other cards of Larry Doby. So I'm excited, looking forward to that journey. All right, where will we go next? I tell you what, this dude seems to be underrated. Johnny Mize, look at this. Now, I tell you what, I'm disciplining myself here. Look at this Gem Mint 3. Whoa, man. I'm disciplining myself here because, I've disciplined myself to show you typically 3 cards of each player, but I have a lot more than 3. I've made some nice progress on Mize. This I picked up at the 2023 National, and it is a blazing stunner. That registration is spot on for this card, too. The picture was fuzzy to begin with. And let's see. Oh, man, I absolutely love these Leafs. 49 Leaf. Look at those colors pop. Johnny Mize. This was a gift from my wife a few years back, but I picked it out. That's kind of how we roll. And this thing, I just absolutely love it. The 47 tip-top bread Johnny Mize. So look at that beauty. I love these cards. Absolutely love them. Nothing's more nostalgic than food and beverage issues. All right, so let's see. When it comes to Berra, I think I mentioned Doby. I can't think off the top of my head of what the next Larry Doby card I would want is, but, his 54 tops I don't have. His 55 tops I don't have. I think he's got a 55 tops. I know he has a 56. Anyway, there's definitely some Dobys in the 50s that I need for sure. As far as Johnny Mize goes, I really want his 53 Bowman black and white card, the right copy. So, yeah, excited to add some Mize, even though I've got a pretty strong Mize collection. Oh, I forgot to show you this. So what else slowed me down? I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. Star Company Basketball, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Dr. J. I focused on those 4 players. That has definitely taken some bucks and slowed me down as far as having a focus on the golden era of baseball. One of the things I wanted to do is collect 5 of these. I've done it. They've went ballistic in value. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying they have, and that means that I could, if I wanted to, leverage some of these bad boys, to go after some vintage baseball. However, man, oh man, I just love having these 5 birds. Part of this was the contrarian in me, where the Michael Jordan 101 in this set is just so insanely expensive, and I'm like, these birds are way too cheap. I still think they have room to grow. But without talking about that and making this video too long, I do have some Star Company basketball cards I could leverage to get more of the cards from the golden era of baseball. But what I see myself doing is holding what I have now and maybe, yes, adding a few here and there, but being pretty selective and, not putting too many resources into Star basketball, but sticking with what I have and just adding a little bit here and there as time goes on. Let's see. Where do we go next? Oh, man. All right, here's the deal. We're talking Stan the Man. I just couldn't resist showing you 4 cards here. I could not narrow it down to 3. The rookie. Look at that. I tell you what, after I got this card, I liked it when I got it. But the more I have it, the more I love it. I mean, wow, I just love this card. It's so epic. Okay, then I had to show this, because I waited a couple years before I found the right one and probably missed out on a couple that could have worked for sure, but this beauty is so stunning. And of course, this is not only an epic Stan Musial card, which any Stan Musial card is, I think, an epic Stan Musial card, but it's going to be part of my 52 Bowman Hall of Fame run as well. And so I wanted the big 3. I had the Mantle, I had the Maze, and I really wanted this Musial so that I could have the big 3 as I work toward that 52 Bowman Hall of Fame run. So super stoked to have this card. Again, these are not all of my Musials, although these are the main ones for sure. And then I always have to show my pristine one with a pinhole up there. So sweet with the registration and color. I just couldn't resist showing you 4 Musials. Look at that trifecta. Here it comes. Oh, here it comes, folks. Look at that. This card speaks for itself. I'm so stoked to have this card. All right, so Musial. Yeah, basically, you know, his first Topps card isn't until, what is it, 58 Topps All-Star? I have that one. Basically, I want to add more Musials. Off the top of my head, let's see, the 53 Bowman Color. That's one that's high on my list, but I'd have to find the right copy where, you know, the card just looks great. So yeah, definitely want to add Musial. I'm getting excited just making this video. I'm looking forward to a greater focus on the stars of the vintage era of baseball. All right, here's the deal. We're going Willie Mays. Now, if you saw my last video, you know that I was able to trade a Michael Jordan card that had about 1/10 the value of this card when I bought it. Well, the price I paid for it was about 1/10 of the current value of this card, and I traded it straight across for this bad boy. Look at the centering. Look at the registration. Let's see if we can look at that. Whoa. This is a dream card. I cannot believe I have this card. I know the back, with all the plastic, you can't see the back perfectly, but let's go back to the front. Let's just feast our eyes on this just a little bit. So stoked to have this. Wow. Wow. I'm 100% in love with that bad boy. So that's going to enable me to do the Bowman run of Willie Mays. These are the two Bowmans that I have. And look at the color. Look at the registration. So I've got the first two Bowmans. And, you know, so I'll get the others. He's got a 54 Bowman, a 55 Bowman. So over time, I plan to get those, you know, Lord willing. But that's not all. I can also get as many of the Topps as I want because this was my purchase of the 2022 National in a PSA Authentic that crossed over, that I sent in the PSA slab to SGC and it came back at 2.5. Look at the color on this beauty. Just absolutely fresh and vibrant. So this is going to enable me to do as much of his Topps run as I want as well. So there's this 52 Topps. Here's a beautiful, beautiful 53 Topps and a Vintage Greatness 3. And here's his 54 Topps. Now, I don't have his 55 Topps or his 56 Topps, so those would be natural, you know, next. Those would be cards I really want. Also his 58, his 59, I mean, shoot, his 60. I mean, so many cards of Willie Mays that I want to add. Maybe I'll eventually do the complete Topps run. At the least, I believe that, you know, again, Lord willing, that I'm able to finish out his 50s base cards, Topps base cards, finish out his Bowman run, and then pick and choose from there at the very least. So really excited about moving forward with Willie Mays. And I cannot believe, just cannot believe, you know, look at that pair. I just can't believe it. Yeah, super stoked about that. But again, it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be a card like 65 Topps Willie Mays, which I happen to have that card. But it could be a card like that. It doesn't have to be one of the big boys for me to get excited about adding it. I'm excited about adding some of these less expensive cards as well. I'm going to have to pause because I realized I got to go grab a card that I forgot to bring. All right, let's talk Ted Williams. Oh, man, look at that. Look at that leafy beauty there. Oh, man. This also comes in a red tint, but it's much tougher. I would love to have this in the red tint as well, although I also think this card is just absolutely epic. Okay, so there's that. Just a couple representatives from my Ted Williams collection. I have the 41 play ball Williams as well as DiMaggio. Look at that beauty. This one's going to be better. You know, let's take it out here. Let's even turn this light on if in case, I don't know, does that help? Maybe. Whoa. Oh man, yeah. Sometimes this light helps. Sometimes it, you know, it doesn't. But I think for this card, I think maybe it helps. Anyway. All right, I'm trying to keep it down to 3. This is the one I had to go run and grab. This 52 Red Man Tobacco. This was from, I believe, last year's National. Not the one that just ended, but the 2025 with tab. Oh, man, this is one of my favorite cards. I could say that about so many cards, but I think this card is just so underrated. I guess just because I love it so much. But there's 3 Musials, just to represent Stan Musial. I mean, not Musial. There's 3 Ted Williams to represent Ted Williams. So yeah, I'd love to add more Ted Williams. I have his 254 tops, the bookend cards, number 1 and number 250, first and last in the set. I think he has a 55. He's certainly got a 56 tops. Definitely, there's plenty of more tops Ted Williams to add, so I'm stoked to add. Again, part of what was slowing me down was going after big cards like this. I would love to have his rookie, his 39 play ball. I'd love to have the 40 play ball black and white as well. But, you know, that rookie that train may have left the station. And if that never happens, that's fine. I'm just stoked to have what I have. Let me kind of set these down. Okay, I also grabbed this while I was grabbing the Williams. I know I'm breaking my own rules here and showing you another Mize, but this is so amazing. I had to do it. I mean, look at that. That is just... Oh, I love these cards that are like vintage art. I love it when they took pictures and colorized them, like 52 tops, you know, some of the early Bowman and tops sets, and then this Redman Tobacco. Absolutely love it. Okay, so where do we go from here? Well, heck, let's go Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio. This was in a recent video. I can't believe I got this fabulous Relic 1.5. So insanely nice for the grade. Just a little sticky that in the back where it was stuck on in an album or something, enhancing that vintage eye appeal, the registration, colors, sharpness, centering, you name it. Oh man. And this bad boy, the color is just popping, the registration. This was like $8.75, which I thought was a fantastic deal. So part of this was about, you know, the eye appeal. For me, the eye appeal was there, especially for the price. I thought, you know, you got to factor in price. If I were paying 3 times as much, you know, I'd probably look to get a little better centered or that sort of thing. But I really love this card, and especially at that price, you know, I had to pull the trigger, and I don't see myself upgrading. I'm just going to stick with this one. It works for me. Not that upgrading is out of the question, but I'm not seeking to do so. You know, I'm super stoked with this. What mattered most to me is the color, the registration, and, you know, this card is just popping. Look at those beauties. And then, of course, this one, the key to the 38 Gaudy heads up with cartoons. I cannot believe I have this trifecta of Joe DiMaggio cards. Cannot believe it. Absolutely cannot believe it. So what about Joe? What about Joltin' Joe? I think probably... Ooh, no, don't... Where did you go, Joe DiMaggio? I think probably I'll stick with this trifecta. And, you know, let me see if this lighting, you know, sometimes that can make a difference. But I think I'll probably stick with this trifecta. I don't see myself adding too many more Joe DiMaggio cards. These are the 3 I really wanted. I'll let you in on something if you've made it this far. There are 24 of these bad boys with cartoons. 24 card set with cartoons, 24 cards without cartoons. The cartoons being what are sometimes called the scribbles around the periphery. Well, guess what? Just tonight, I pulled the trigger on my 24th. It's got to go through eBay authentication. It's got to be shipped to me, but the seller, I believe, is shipping tomorrow because they're fast and they uploaded the shipping info tonight, tracking tonight. So I think within maybe the next couple weeks, I'll have the 24th one. I will have the complete set of 24 with cartoons. So look for, in a couple of weeks, my video on that. I am so stoked. Dylan, Double D Vintage Baseball Cards, and I have been working on this set with cartoons. I think he's got about 5 to go, maybe 4. He's getting down there. He's getting so close. Come on, Dylan. I know it's not easy, right? We both know it's not easy, but yeah, that's coming. That's coming. I'm going to be showing off my entire set within the next couple weeks. I am super stoked. I can't believe it. You know, the greatest probably collecting completion of my life, maybe. All right, so Joe DiMaggio, sticking with what I have, enjoying what I have, probably not, you know, changing it up. Okay, where do we go from here? Let's talk Jackie. So this one I've had for a while. This is such a sweet card. It's like it's fuzzy cut on all 4 sides, which I think is really cool. And it's got the S sticker for super sweet. Woo-hoo! Love the cartoons on this. Maybe you didn't know Jackie Robinson was apparently white. Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't even laugh about that, right? But You know, I think that's Jackie Robinson they're congratulating. You really see some inconsistencies here when they are doing cartoons of the black players, to say the least. But anyway, absolutely love this card. And at the National, I was able to do that epic trade and pick this up, which, you know, this is a dream card, a too good to be true 2. I never dreamed I would have this card. Well, I guess I dreamed of it, but, you know, I thought, what's the probability? Well, now I do. I'm super stoked, and this has inspired me. I want to go after all, not the Bowman or the Leaf, but all of the Topps Jackie Robinson. And I call them big Topps because Jackie Robinson has a 52, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are the 5 years when the Topps cards were a little bigger than the standard size today. So I've got the 52 and the 56. I want to pick up the 53, 4, and 5. Those will not be cheap, but I want to have the Jackie Robinson Topps run, and I'm super stoked about that. And also I want to do all of the Negro Leaguers of 52 Topps. All 52 Topps cards of players who were formerly in the Negro Leagues. And I've got the Willie Mays. I've got the Jackie Robinson. The big one I don't have too many. I've got Larry Doby. I showed that one, I think. The big one I'm missing is Roy Campanella. So I will probably, secure the Campanella at some point before I move on with the other ones that are going to be less expensive, like I think Luke Easter, for example. So, I would probably get the Campanella first, and if I'm able to secure the Campy 52 Topps, and then I'll go after the others. I just think how cool would that be to complete that at some point, all of the 52 Topps cards of former Negro Leaguers. So that's my goal for Jackie Robinson. Not the Leaf, not the Bowman, but finish up his 52 Topps. This, to me, this might just be my grail card. I mean, it's right. Wow. Yeah, wow. I'm so stunned. Okay, what about the Mick? Well, here's the deal. Absolutely love this one, this fabulous Relic 1.5 with that Gem Mint 10 red rectangle there. Absolutely love it. However, I love the Mick, but I generally don't like to pay the Mantle tax. But of course, I'm keeping that card. Absolutely love it. And this card, one of the keys to my 52 Bowman Hall of Fame run, and just the registration, the color, the sharpness, the freshness. This card is so sweet. So I don't necessarily see myself picking up more Mantles, other than I really want the 56 Topps Whiteback, which I had at one time. But hey, I believe selling that might have helped me to get this. So, But anyway, I really want that 56 Topps Whiteback Mantle, and that'll be the key card for a 56 Topps Hall of Fame run. I think the only 56 Topps Hall of Famer I have is the Jackie Robinson that I just showed you. But I absolutely love the cartoons on the back, so I want to go after a Hall of Fame run. Slowly but surely, none of this is going to happen overnight, but everything I've talked about here that I want to go after, of course, is all adding to collecting those stars of the golden era of baseball. All right, so Mantle, I don't really see myself adding much other than at some point the 56 Topps Whiteback Mickey Mantle, but I intend to keep and enjoy the ones that I have. Who knows if I ever go after a 53 Topps Hall of Fame run, this will go a long ways toward that, of course. And this certainly goes toward my 52 Bowman Hall of Fame run. But I intend to keep these, enjoy them, absolutely love them. However, I don't see them, I don't see myself adding much in the way of Mantle, because I generally don't want to pay the Mantle tax, even though, heck, I'd love to have more Mickey Mantle cards. I just think that Maze and Aaron and some others, Musial, etc., are just much better values, and I'd rather put my money there. Okay, now what do we do with people like this? What do we do with, like, Ralph Kiner? Well, I got to have this one because, this is a 52 Bowman Hall of Famer, and yeah, just the definition of vintage art. I don't know. I'm not necessarily collecting Ralph Kiner, or am I? I mean, my goodness, look at the color on this one. You don't see this color as often. This card is so sweet. So, hey, I'm keeping these for sure. But am I going to collect more Kiners? Maybe. I Kiner like him. Oh, that was so corny. So corny, so Kinery. But anyway, yeah, maybe I'm collecting more Kiners. I mean, after all, he led or tied for the home run record 7 years in a row in his league, which is just insane. So, maybe more Kiners. What about the Duke? I mean, come on, man. I mean, maybe I'm collecting the Duke too, because, I mean, this dude, yeah, I probably want more of his cards too. Yeah. I love the sluggers of the golden era of baseball, and the Duke is one of them. I love the Yankees, but I also love the vintage Dodgers. So I'm not just because I love Yankees, I have to hate Dodgers. So I love them both. So yeah, probably collecting the Duke. Yep. Okay. What about this? Well, I'm not collecting all the fellers, but look at this feller. I mean, yeah, cards like this are just, like this is a 52 Topps Hall of Famer. So beautiful. I'm not going to get rid of this. I may not get all the 52 Topps Hall of Famers, but I don't want to go backwards. I'm still bemoaning the fact that I let my early win go. This is so stunning. So I'm just showing this as an example of a card that it may not be part of a completion, but, I absolutely love it and have no intention of letting it go. All right, so there we go. All right, what about this dude? Well, how do you not collect Ed Matthews? Eddie Matthews, another slugger from the golden era. Granted, his 52 Topps card is pretty spendy, although I'd love to have that too. So, hey, I'll probably be collecting some more Matthews as time goes on. How can I not? Yeah, how can I not? All right, now, we'll move Matthews. What about these guys? Okay, I've got all of his Tiffany's. I've got some other Schmidt cards. I'm pretty close on a Mike Schmidt Topps run. Maybe I finish it out at some point. Not so much the golden era. Here's his beautiful rookie card. I don't know. I might just stay pat on Schmidt for now, or I might just finish out his Topps run because I don't have that many cards to go, and then I could show them off all at once in a video, and they're not that expensive. So, we'll see what happens with Schmidt, a.k.a. Chuck Norris. And then what about this dude? Well, I've got all his Tiffany cards, which I'm pretty stoked about. And I also have this gorgeous first solo card. I would love to have his rookie card. Shout out to Dave, Legends of the Dugout. I spent hours going with him as he found one at the National. He ultimately found it when I was, doing something else or hanging out with someone else. But, got to see it, hold it. Really stoked for him. I'd like to get his rookie card at some point. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll be adding more Ryans necessarily. That probably won't be the focus. But these two cards that you see right here, I love having them. I don't see myself getting rid of them. But I just may not be adding much, in the way of stars like Ryan and Mike Schmidt. Even though I think they're amazing, it kind of takes me away from that golden era, which is really where I want my focus to be. All right, let me see here. Let me change the lighting up. Let me turn this camera around. Give me just a sec. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go out with these two. Let me show these two. My monster trade pickups from the National just a couple weeks ago. Let me just show those. Oh, man. I cannot believe I have these dream cards. All right. Let me turn this camera around. That's it. That was a long-winded way of giving you a sense of my plan to focus more on the stars of the golden era of baseball, those early Topps and Bowman cards for the most part. That doesn't mean I won't pick up an occasional Aaron Judge card, but in the past when I was putting so many resources into Judge or Barry Bonds or star cards, I mean, I could still be picking up a few of those, but I'm stoked about, I've been thinking about this a lot. I've delayed it too long. Now, yes, I kind of delayed it, but at the same time, when I was picking up cards like this by selling, saving, trading, that meant that I was getting one golden era star baseball card as opposed to, getting a lot, getting several of them instead of getting the one big one. So that was certainly a big part of what delayed, but I'm looking to not delay so much. Oh, I might still go after kind of the bigger cards like Hank Aaron's 55 Topps. His second year card is getting kind of spendy as well. So I might still try to, hit some of those bigger ones, but I'm excited about making progress faster And then as I add a new card showing you either all the cards I have from that set or all the cards I have of that player, excited about this journey. We're also selling our house. We're getting activity, but no buyers yet. We're buying a house, super stoked about it. Gonna have a card room, gorgeous 1960 ranch home, but it's been all redone. Just a beautiful neighborhood. All right, got to wrap this up. Thank you for sharing in my joy. Thank you so much for taking your time here. I am honored. I'm not really trying to grow a channel. I have no plan to monetize or anything. I'm just trying to be careful here with your time, and not just blab on. Although I'm pretty good at just blabbing on. But I really appreciate your time. I hope your hobby's going well. I hope your life's going well. Thank you for sharing in my joy. I hope you had a wonderful and peaceful time in the Vintage Sanctuary. Take care, my collecting brothers and sisters.